some marketers have been very open-minded about leaning into this space and learning about it and being proactive to having a plan. Other marketers are looking at their retargeting capabilities, their remarketing, the metrics have fallen, what's going on, they're leaning in. And for the rest, those problems are coming, as you said. So it's good for that they lean into this. So thanks for giving us that landscape around cookieless. Let's go back to the landscape around first party, and let's really go deep and fast now, because now we're going to we're going to raise the acumen level here for the people that want to learn. You took the time to build sort of an ecosystem, a first party data identity scape, because there are a lot of people a lot of companies that need to touch it to do it the right way. So maybe I'm going to put this up, and maybe you could walk us through this and take us into like an advanced education around the first party data identity scape.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the biggest things around activation is that it feels very complicated still to, like, let's say you assess yourself, you're like, cool, I invested in tools and technology. Obviously, Full Throttle, we focus on helping clients go from scavenger to farmer. So even we have clients that say, great, I have so much more first party data than I ever had before. The second problem that comes up fast is, what do I do with it? And again, historically, because this hasn't been a problem that there was a lot of investment in it, because it just didn't need to be, right, over the last decade. Historically, it's been a real pain. It's, if you have first party data, to be able to get that to a place, like let's say all the people that have bought something from you before, besides doing I'll upload it to Facebook and do a custom audience, which is really what most people do with those kinds of things, to really activate against that data is kind of a nightmare. Historically, has been a nightmare. I think the analogy we use is it feels like one of those Barnum and Bailey, Ringling Brothers circus type of situations where you have so much going on and you feel like you're doing all kinds of jumping jacks and acrobatics and doing flips just to be able to land your first party data activation. And that's still the case today. I mean, it might be hard for the team to see everything here on the screen, but for those that are activating, you're probably running into one or more of these types of companies today, right? Where you may be a advertiser that's starting on the left hand side, and you're doing a good job of creating first party data, and you have a CDP of some kind. You're putting all your data in one place. And from there, you're going to a third-party onboarder. You're using universal IDs. You're using companies like LiveRamp and Newstar and ID5. And then from there, you're going into clean rooms around InfoSum and BlockGraph and Amazon. Just expense after expense after expense, just to get your audience to a place where it can match. And if you start on the right-hand side here, which as a publisher, that's really the same problem, slightly in reverse, where you may have subscriptions, people submit information. Those kinds of things where you are getting first party data that way, or maybe it is a true first party data identifier that's anonymous. That could be the case, although we don't advocate it. And from there, same challenge, right? You have to then go through your CDPs, you have to go through an onboarder, a universal ID company, you may have to use a clean room to go match that data. Sounds awful, even just saying it out loud, right? So a couple of years ago, as we got really good as converting our clients into farmers, we learned that we had to tackle the second problem, and we had to tackle it fast, and that was around activation. So we said, if we cannot make it so simple to activate this first party data, then again, just transparently for all our listeners, our business wouldn't go very far, because you have to do something with the data once you've you got to do something with the crops, right? Once you become a really good farmer. So what we have, what we kind of dubbed the activation highway, where we help deliver all these first party household data, and we think that it's important to activate it across audio, video, display, etc., and do it through what we call the activation highway at a 90% match rate, which is, typically in the industry you see 30 to 40% average match rate. That's kind of what's been done. And again, it's because there really hasn't been a lot of investment. First party is still, compared to the last 10 years, still a relatively new thing, and so there's a lot more to do in it. And where there's many that are championing and investing. We're one of them. And we are, creating a much easier way to activate first party data. Otherwise, the future of it, or the component or the idea of first party data being the future will be short lived. So that's been really successful. Something I really focused on is how do you go and activate it, and specifically how do you activate it at a 90% match rate.